Jagdish Shetty, the author of the book P. Gurus, as he's known, but I know him as Sree Iyer. He lives in California. He's got how many, 32 patents or something like that? 32 patents. And I don't know what craze hit him, that he has given up this lovely life in California, making new patents and earning money, and started working for the benefit of cleaning Indian society. I congratulate him on writing this very complicated book. Monu Nalapat is a fighter. He's fought all his life, and sometimes he has suffered. He was the first one to warn me about Sonia Gandhi, if I remember. And I hope Sonia Gandhi knows that I was not the one. You motivated me to fight her. On the stage is also Ashirvadam. The 2G would never have come out in public, but for the fact that he was in the office working as an official in H.A. Raja's office. And then his conscience struck him. So at one night at 9 o'clock, I opened the door and I see this man standing. I said, "Who are you?" He said, I'm Ashirvadam, I want to speak to you. And then, from then on, the 2G scandal got documentation. It got, he became the whistleblower. He became the star witness. Don't be disappointed that we have not won in the lower courts. We'll definitely win the High Court. Even my petition for cancellation of licenses was first rejected by the High Court. And then I went to Supreme Court and got the order. So in this tier 3 system, in one level we lose doesn't mean we are going to lose at the other level. We are definitely going to win at the High Court level. And then Sunil Mago, who is a chartered accountant and also a singer. I think he's written, and he's a lawyer now. And he's in many other ways also more dangerous. But he's a valued colleague. We have now a growing team. Some of them are sitting here. Marvi has already been pointed out. Then there is one man who is putting his head down. That is Gopi Krishnan. He's the terror. Whenever Chidambaram sees him, he wants to run away from the scene. I've seen it with my own eyes. So people who, for Pioneer, he's doing these exposés. Today, we are in a situation where we have to fight corruption. Corruption destroys our society in many ways. If you read the history of kingdoms which have disappeared, like the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, they've all became victims of corruption, and then they collapsed. They could not stand up to foreign invasions. Corruption affects our moral fiber, and therefore fighting is very necessary. And if you want to fight it, you must have the spirit that you will win in the end. Not like Nalapat, who is all the time telling me, no, nothing will happen. Why are you hoping something will happen? In many. But at the same time, I would say that he has been total supportive of giving me evidence. He's giving me logic, telling me what are the dangers ahead. But in India, it has become a national disease to be pessimistic. Nothing will happen. Nobody will be arrested. Everybody will run away. I'm telling you that we will get all these Malia types back in this country one of these days. There is a way. People told me from day one that Mr. Chidambaram will never be touched, leave alone being taken into custody, or his son taken into custody. In fact, the whole family has to be sooner or later taken into custody. That's why in Twitter I call them BC, PC, MC, because PC means Pakka Chor, and BC means baby chore, MC means mother, is a Mahachor. I have not known one single member of the Chidambaram family who is not a chore. So this C company that you are given title, it has absolutely apt title. And in the community to which he belongs, they are the people who first came to me and says, save us from Chidambaram. It's called the Chettiar community. He is so unpopular in Tamil Nadu that you do not know when Karthi Chidambaram was arrested, there was celebration in Tamil Nadu. Chidambaram can't win an election without doing Dadagiri. The last election, the returning officer, in fact, declared him defeated by 3,500 votes. Then they went and caught hold of these returning officer's wife, put a pistol to her head, and then she phoned her husband, and then the husband did, the returning officer did palti and gave the victory certificate to Mr. Chidambaram. There is no place I know where he has not used his Dadagiri. And how many cases, if today we have, well, we got Aircel Maxis, we got an INX, we have got 24 cases of FIPP clearance. But Chidambaram is also involved in narcotics. People don't know how would Chidambaram as finance minister be involved in narcotics? Narcotics, because finance ministry is responsible for narcotics. Trade. What trade? The United Nations gave India the permission to produce what is called as the basic material, which we call as opium. Yeah, opium. Opium planting is permitted by the United Nations in India for medicinal purposes. Now, the rate at which the government buys this production of opium to make medicines is only 1/70th of the market price for opium to be converted, if it's converted into cocaine. So, therefore, when you grow opium, it could be diverted to the illegal narcotics market. So, to prevent that, the government has told each farmer who's given a license to produce that you will per acre produce so much. And if you produce less than that, then we will cancel your license and put you in jail. So that to prevent the farmer to deliver the entire production to the government. Mr. Chidambaram became finance minister. It was his responsibility to decide what would be the yield per acre for that particular year after looking at the... He consistently brought it down sharply so that a massive amount could be diverted to the narcotics market. I didn't realize this till one day I saw a Rajasthan Patrika paper in 1997 when he was finance minister, where he is gone to address a meeting in Barmer, Rajasthan. I said, I was surprised Chidambaram doesn't know one word of Hindi. How will he go to Barmer of all the places? I realized that Barmer was where this narcotic opium crop was being grown. And he was being felicitated by rich people there because they all had become rich by this diversion. If you go today to Mandsaur, Barmer, you'll see so many people now victims of narcotics addiction. So even there he's made money. He's made money, you just think of what you can't make money in, he'll find you a way to make money. For instance, in Canara Bank, he made money by telling the Canara Bank that you change your logo. So the Canara Bank had to change the logo and repaint all the signboards. So he got a commission from the painter also. And that is also became a case. So there is this huge amount of money that is collected. And by the time we are through with all the cases, I think he'll have to live 500 years to finish his sentence in jail. This is the person who is also directly responsible in this NSEL thing. And it was started as a good idea. It started flourishing, and then they wanted to make money. And how it has been distorted, and finally innocent people have been targeted, and honest people have lost the money they had invested, and the crooks ran away with the money. This is the whole story behind this. Now, I had not filed a case on this so far, but now that you have produced all the data, I think I'll file a case in this also against Mr. Chidambaram. Now, why is, first of all, I'll agree one thing, that for 4 years we could not touch Chidambaram. I have filed this case from 2012, 2013. And I went to Supreme Court directions, this, that, court monitored inquiry. Nothing happened. Because Chidambaram had friends in my party also. And they ensured, and then all his bureaucrats, whom he had appointed, that they were left and they continued. Like this Raghuram Rajan. Everybody thought he was some great genius. But he was an absolute big crook. And he and Chidambaram robbed this country of an enormous amount of money. And finally, after 2 years of campaigning, the Prime Minister said, "Acha Baba, isko nikal denge." And he was sent home. Today, people are finding that this Nirav Modi's big killing was on gold bars. And that was made possible because on the 16th of May, 2014, the day the results were coming out, that we are winning, Mr. Chidambaram signs a file, changes the policy, but it becomes very easy for him to bring in gold at cheap place and convert them into bars. And Mr. Raghuram Rajan as governor, on the 24th of May, 2 days before you take oath, he signs it and gets it implemented. So this is the way, even in the Nirav Modi thing, the people who will be caught are Chidambaram and his associates. They're making baby doing propaganda. Like they say, chor machaya shor, you see. So they are making this noise, but the fact is that when the real investigation takes place in Nirav Modi, you will find mostly congressmen who will be caught. I am so keen on fighting corruption only because it has a multidimensional effect on our society. Supposing I allow corruption in the sector of building roads. Tender will be put out. An inferior party knows that he cannot compete. So he goes to the minister and says, if you give me the tender by changing the terms, then I'll pay you so much. The minister agrees. And so the tender is altered. And then the inferior person gets it. And he pays the bribe, and then he has to recover the money. So what does he do? He puts inferior material on the road. And that is why a place like Bombay and Bangalore, they're supposed to be world-class cities for the technology. But we find roads have big potholes because inferior material is put, and one monsoon, the whole thing becomes, the potholes appear. Then to repair the pothole, there's another tender. And that tender also will lead another only for 1 year. So this way, the cycle does. You get inferior products. If you accept money from wholesalers, retailers, then they can adulterate the products. You'll get adulterated products because no one will raid their shops because of the fact that they've given you a bribe. So this is the first effect you suffer. Second is the money that you have, black money. The part that you keep in India, what do you spend it on? You spend it on luxuries. And that is why today you find 70% of our investment is going for production of luxury goods, indirectly and directly. Produce steel, instead of going for making buildings, it will go to make some fancy equipment. So therefore, 70% of our investment is going for production of luxury goods. How can a poor country with so many poor people survive if the investment is loaded in favor of the rich people? So this is another aspect of corruption, because the money has to be spent in such a way that it is not obvious. So they'll have marble floors, they will have gold platings, all these things in their houses. That creates demand for these things, and therefore those industries like luxury goods industries, demand goes up. Today the rate of return on investment on luxury goods production is 25%, 30%, whereas for ordinary people's items it's only 5%, 6%. So therefore the investment starts going in that direction. So this is the investment distortion. Third thing, the part which you send abroad, how do you send it? You send it to Hawala. Where are most of the Hawala people? Dubai. And in Dubai, the Hawala agents make the transfer into your bank account abroad. And because it is done in Dubai, therefore Dawood Ibrahim and Pakistan ISI have to be told. That's a condition for the Hawala people to operate. That whose account are you putting money in? What is their name? What is their account number? So Dawood Ibrahim and ISI Pakistan can blackmail most of our politicians, because they say, we know your bank account. And that's why they're all afraid. And that is why there's no cry from the Congress party, for example, on catching Dawood Ibrahim. We are every day talking about catching Vijay Mallya, but very few voices for catching Dawood Ibrahim, because he controls it. He controls the cinema world. He controls the money that he gives in elections. So this means that our national security is also affected. So corruption is a cancer, and we have to fight it. We have to fight it very hard, and it's not an easy fight. But I have found recently, over the last 3-4 years, and I agree that one of the good things that Narendra Modi has done, say in this Chidambaram matter, he has told all politicians, MPs, ministers, don't get into all this. Stay away. Let the investigating agencies do their work. And because of the non-interference of political elements in our investigating agencies, we today have got the result we've got. I am sure that another 1 month, Mr. Chidambaram will also be going in where his son is. And for the Sharda Chit Fund, maybe MC will also go, the mother will also go. So if you allow our agencies to work without political interference, then they can deliver results. We've got very, very good people in the agencies, but their promotions are blocked. They are told that you are not cooperative. Therefore, you will not get promotions. If all that stops, if you reward good officers, then you can have an agency which can bring it about, become about the change. Ultimately, we must first catch not the policeman and the stenographer and the section officer. We must catch the big people. Because what happens is when you catch somebody big, then everybody else thinks if they can be caught, then I can also be caught. And so that filters down. Otherwise, the small man gets caught, it has no effect on society. This society will change when you create an incentive to be honest. And the incentive to honest means if you do something wrong, you will be caught. I filed this National Herald case against Sonia and Rahul. That time people said, are you mad? Will any magistrate give you any relief? One young girl who just had become magistrate, she studied the whole thing. She wrote a 20-page report and issued a summons to Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. And then they went to the High Court, they lost there. They went to the Supreme Court, they lost there. And then they had to come to Patiala House, get arrested, and then ask for bail. I did not oppose bail because I don't want them to go to jail just now. I want to do it when they are getting convicted. Otherwise, they will do a bhajan mela, and bhajan mandali will turn up there and create problems in Tihar jail. So I agreed. Now, I find officers are doing their work. Just now, the income tax department, which is supposed to be corrupt, has given a 108 pages report on how Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi cheated the income tax, and they put an assessment order of 414 crores, which they have to pay plus penalty. So all told, they will have to pay 1,200 crores, which is nothing for them, but it is not in white. That is their problem. So they cannot pay the fine. So they are going to have problems. And the case is going on. The next hearing is on 17th. And you can be assured by the end of this year, you will have many more people in jail from the Congress party. And maybe Shashi Tharoor also, and so many others. I think at this rate, they can have the Congress Working Committee meeting in Tihar jail. So many people will be there. So we are not fighting this because we have any vengeance, personal vengeance. It's in fact a very difficult thing to fight because you are denied everything, you are blocked everything, everybody thinks you are dangerous, they want to avoid you. It's not an easy fight. But society cannot reform, improve, and become what we were once upon a time, a great nation, if every individual does not resolve, yes, corruption must be fought, and also be optimistic. That is for Mr. Nalapat. Not to say, ne kuch nahi hoga, sab chale jayenge, sab ek jaise hi hain. This kind of cynicism, that is the most dangerous thing and which is supporting corruption in our country. We have to say, no, corruption has to go. Doesn't matter if it takes 10 years, 20 years, but the fight must go on. And there, when you see people like Sree Iyer sacrificing his, I won't even, if you go to California, you'll know whatever advantages and excellent position he was in. He's given it all up, and he's now concentrating on exposing, and his P gurus is a big headache for corrupt people. I remember when you did the story on Augusta, P Guru was the most quoted in Parliament, either in condemning you or in praising you. But this clinical analysis he's doing with this training is a great contribution, and I think all of you, therefore, should support anyone who's fighting corruption. It doesn't matter, in sometimes you get a man who will fight for corruption, then take money and run away. Those exceptions are always there. But you must make it a mission in life and have it as a desire, like we had for freedom of India. Everybody said, Angrez chodo, Bharat chodo. That kind of feeling must come and say, corruption, those who fight corruption we will support, and those who are corrupt we will oppose. That determination of the people is very important, and to learn the facts about it, because don't rely entirely on media. Some media is very good, some media are very bad. Some of them, if you look at NDTV, you will not get any good any analysis. But there are TV stations which are now bringing out breaking news, which is educating the public. So therefore, we also support those television stations. We think they are doing an excellent job. And as a whole, we must take this as a great mission for the national renaissance of India. Thank you very much.